This is the sound of fear in Tarkov. It's the sound of the king of Interchange, a ruthless, faceless icon of violence who's become more myth than man. They call him Killa. Clad in heavy armour and that iconic, custom-painted masker helmet, he's a whirlwind of tactical aggression. A lone wolf who kills PMCs and scavs alike without hesitation. He is the monster that haunts the halls of the mall, the final boss of 1,000 failed raids, a symbol of the city's irreversible decay. He's known for his unwavering hatred of anyone who dares to loot. Part of the mall he calls his home. But that's the killer we know, the monster. Have you ever wondered what created him? Because before the armour, before the name, and before the chaos, there was just a man. A man who wore a tracksuit not as a challenge to his enemies, but as a point of pride. This is the story of how TerraGroup and the chaos of the contract wars took that man and turned him into a legend. Long before the name Killa was whispered in fear, there was a man whose real name is now lost to time. Battlestate Games keeps his origins vague, but clues are scattered in gear, in-game dialogue, and especially in the symbolism of his tracksuit. One widely accepted theory is that he was an athlete, maybe a track and field star, maybe even a local champion. Someone whose life was about physical discipline, training, and personal pride. Picture Tarkov before the war, a thriving modern city in the Navink's special economic zone, a crossroads of east and west, pulsing with commerce and ambition. In that world, the iconic tracksuit wasn't armour, it was a uniform of success. The 3 stripes he'd later paint on his helmet, not a warning sign, but a reminder of a past life where his biggest opponents were athletes, not armed men in body armour. We know from the quest dialogue that he had a younger brother, Killa. Both were deeply embedded in a life of fitness and physicality. Some even speculate Killa may have served in the military or had ties to law enforcement before things fell apart. Others imagine he may have worked a civilian job, possibly at the very Interchange mall he would later come to rule. Either way, he was once part of the city's fabric, a man with a life, a man with a future that would be stolen too soon. The name that marked the beginning of Tarkov's collapse, TerraGroup. On the surface, just another multinational tech and pharma corporation, drawn to Navink's economic promise. But behind closed doors, TerraGroup was a parasite, manipulating local politics, smuggling bioweapons, and conducting human experimentation from hidden facilities like the lab. Their private army, USEC, classed with Russian-backed PMCs known as Bear. The result was the contract wars, a shadow conflict that tore the city apart from the inside out. For everyday citizens, the city became a battlefield. Apartment blocks turned into ambush zones. Supermarkets became kill zones. It's believed Killa and his brother Killa were caught in this storm, perhaps as workers or residents near industrial zones seized by TerraGroup. Some community theories suggest they were present during the chaos at sites like Chemical Plant No. 16, a facility TerraGroup had covertly acquired. Whether employees or innocent bystanders, they were there when the world burned, and no one was coming to save them. The fall from man to monster is rarely a single moment. It's a slow unravelling. As law and order collapsed, the man who would become Killa was pushed into a crucible of violence. Survival in Tarkov became a full-time job. Morality, optional. Here the official law grows quiet and speculation fills the void. But one clue stands out, the bond between Killa and Killa. Jaeger's quest reveals that Killa worked in the factory and idolised his older brother. That puts both men at the heart of the industrial war zone, areas tightly entangled with TerraGroup operations. And then there's the drugs. Combat stimulants in Tarkov are not just tools, they're a warning. Lab raiders, rogues, and other AI enemies frequently carry them, implying usage tied to performance enhancement. Killa is almost always found with stims on his body. And Killa? His aggression, speed and tactical mindset hint at more than just training. It raises a chilling question. Were Killa and Killa unwillingly test subjects in TerraGroup's experiments? There's no proof, but the theory has weight. If they were captured or exposed to prototype combat enhancers, chemical or psychological, the trauma could have rewritten who they were. The man who once ran races may have been chemically reprogrammed into a living, breathing weapon. A hyper-focused predator forged in the chaos of war. Stripped of his identity, surrounded by death, and with no way out, he turned inward. Hatred became survival. Memory became weakness. What emerged wasn't human. It was Killa. Whatever happened to him? Killa didn't die. He evolved. He made his way to the Interchange, a desolate shopping centre that once represented modern luxury. But to Killa, it became a fortress, a war zone he could control. He turned a mall into a kingdom and himself into its dark monarch. The tracksuit stayed, but now it was ironic, a war-torn echo of a life that no longer existed. Over time, he bolted salvaged heavy armour to his frame and hand-painted stripes on his helmet, the last ghost of his former self. Gameplay shows Killa roaming areas locked behind TerraGroup keycards, restricted access sections. Whether he obtained these cards from fallen operatives or once worked there himself is a mystery, but it's clear he knows them all better than anyone. He wields an RPK light machine gun with terrifying precision, combining speed, aggression and tactical repositioning. His behaviour is eerily calculated. This isn't blind rage. It's trained, intelligent violence. He became more than a scav boss. He became a scar left on the city. Killa isn't just part of Tarkov's gameplay loop, he's part of its mythology. Unlike other bosses, Killa walks alone. No guards, no allies. His paranoia is so total that he trusts no one. Everyone is an enemy. PMC, scav, raider or rogue. His bond with Killa, though rarely referenced directly, is steeped in tragedy. While Killa became the king of Interchange, Killa turned into the blood-soaked berserker of the factory. One is a tactician, the other is a brute. Both, perhaps, were walked by the same flames. Even the game acknowledges Killa's legend. Ragman's quest, the stylish one, requires players to kill Killa 100 times. A brutal rite of passage that earns you the right to wear his tracksuit. It's not just a challenge, it's a transformation. You go from fearing the legend to becoming it. Killa's presence still defines Interchange. He can spawn anywhere, at any time. Every dark corridor and escalator is a potential ambush. You don't fight Killa on your terms, you fight on his. So Killa's story is Tarkov's story. Once a man, now a symbol, created by war, mutated by corporate greed, and left to rot in the ruins. He is what happens when systems fail, when empires collapse, when people get used. He may not speak much, but every action, every burst from that RPK is a scream of rage, of memory, of loss. And sometimes when the killing stops, players have noted that Killa just stands there, quiet, as if remembering, as if some fragment of that old athlete still lives behind the helmet. So when you see that helmet peek around a corner and your heart starts to pound, ask yourself, is Killa really a villain? Or is he just the final product of a world that stopped caring? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into Tarkov's dark corners, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more lore from the Navinx Warzone. Thank you so much for watching. This has been XB. Take it easy.